So hi, Marianne.
Hi.
It is
Hi.
really good to be here in your fantastic office in New York, and so thank you for having me. And I'm really sorry that I won't be able to join you for breakfast tomorrow. I know you have a very important meeting. I would also like to congratulate you for the Women's Digital Financial Advocacy Hub that you have launched and the strong momentum that is gaining. And I mean, you have been such a proponent on women digital inclusion for so many years. And I think it's fantastic to see how this hub is really materializing and can move things forward.
Matt, it's lovely to welcome you in person, and we will miss you at the breakfast tomorrow, but I really appreciate your early support and GSMA's early membership in the hub. As you know, the hub is really an opportunity for collective action to bring all kinds of players, private sector, government, civil society, global players, regional players, local players, together to tackle a problem that, part of the reason I love the issue of financial inclusion is it really is a problem that we can solve.
Right.
And one of the most interesting parts of the work that the WDFI, Women's Digital Financial Inclusion Advocacy Hub, will be focusing on is women entrepreneurs' access to digital financial services. And a lot of what we know about where the gaps are, there's been tremendous growth in women-owned businesses, but fully 70% of women entrepreneurs in the developing world say they don't have financial services. We know that access to the internet, access to technology can be a real accelerator for them. But as we know from your really fantastic recent report on the gender gap, progress has really stalled
Yeah, it has.
on getting digital technology into women's hands. Women are 16% less likely than men to use the mobile internet. And this is so key to really turbocharging this issue forward. Tell me what you think some of the things that can be done are.
It has stalled, as you rightly said. We've had a great progress over many years, but after the pandemic it has gone the wrong direction with the mobile internet usage. Only with 1%. We're down at 15 and we're up at 16. But still, the progress needs to be much sharper, much sharper. And I think we need to come to some sort of agreement on what the aim should be, in coming years. I think the complexity is rather great. One is, of course, the lack of gender disaggregated data. So policymakers and governments don't really know how to handle this, what to actually change in order to move things forward. We from GSMA, we have just launched this, or will just launch this report that I'll be happy to give you on policy considerations. And it's a simple guide, but it's actually quite useful to understand the barriers of mobile internet usage, as you rightly said. And I think you pointed out the entrepreneurship. That is one of the key things to create financial inclusion. So here it is.
Thank you very much.
It's a sneak peek because it's not launched yet,
Okay.
but nevertheless. So I think gender disaggregated data is something we need to work with, but also tangible, easy help for governments and policymakers.
Couldn't agree with you more. And as frankly, as bad as the data collection is and the lack of gender disaggregated data on women as individuals, it's even worse, frankly, as women as businesses and what are the real barriers that businesses are facing. But one of the things that we were so excited about having the GSMA join as a very early participant in the hub was you are the industry group for the mobile network operators. What do you see them doing specifically on getting access to digital financial services for women and women-owned businesses in particular?
Yeah, so we have had and we still run the Connected Women Initiative, and I'm not sure exactly how many mobile operators now are members, but I would think it's 20, 25 of the most relevant mobile operators. And in that commitment, you drive activities that is targeted for your market. Many of them could be affordability issues. We know affordability is one of the big barriers for the lack of mobile internet usage, not having able to have a smartphone. Another thing is skills. I don't know how to use it. It's this black thing, I don't know how to handle it. The third thing is that maybe I have my money and maybe I can sort of muster up the energy to understand how to use it, but I've heard that's all bad things on it. Is safety and security is the third thing that's really big. But I think that you are on something which is bigger than all of the above, which is the lack of relevant content. It's the lack of having an application that really changes my life, that can be so beneficial for me, so I can find the money. I'm okay with learning this new device. I'm okay with handling the fear of internet. So having women entrepreneurship, having entrepreneurship at the edge is critical here. Today we have 55 million women that we have touched through this commitment, and just in the last year we have added another 10 million.
Congratulations.
So well, it's the industry that is really taking this serious, and financial inclusion, using the internet, but using it for financial inclusion, using it as a bank account, you can say, is so critical. It's so critical, and I think that's where the partnership, and that's why we feel so strongly about this, is that we're actually complementing each other. We come with one part of the technology, you come with another part of it, and together we can actually make financial inclusion happen.
That's music to my ears. One of the things that I've always really admired about the Connected Women gender gap report is you give really great case studies, very concrete examples of things that your members are doing, and now it looks like you're turning to policy considerations. What are some really, even if you just gave us sort of one call to action for policymakers, one very concrete thing they could do to support digital access for women entrepreneurs?
Well, to look after taxation, to make sure that you lower the barrier of entry. I think that is one key thing. Foster the second thing I would say is to foster a climate of entrepreneurship. Take away all the red tape, make sure that the creative juices can flow freely. Then magic will happen. And I think, Marianne, I actually think that if we are at 16% gender gap today, which is absolutely not okay, I think we should say, let's have that and give that as a task for the policymakers. Let's go down to 8% let's give them 3 years or so.
I love it. What a challenge. Thank you. You've inspired everybody in the room. Thank you so much. And I really love the concreteness and succinctness of that recommendation. I look forward to tackling that challenge with you, Mats. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Marianne.